Hello, I'm going to talk about our HLC briefing for Criterion 2, which covers integrity, ethical, and responsible conduct. So this is a recap of our meeting that we had today. The entire criterion says the institution acts with integrity, its conduct is ethical and responsible. So we're going to go over each core component and break that down a little bit. I did want you to know that we did submit our assurance argument, the federal compliance packet, and the substantive change application yesterday. And so we'll be having our visit within a little less than 1 month. So we're going to go forward and talk about Criterion core component 2A. The institution operates with integrity in its financial, academic, personnel, and auxiliary functions. It establishes and follows policies and processes for fair and ethical behavior on part of the governing board, administration, faculty, and staff. So this criterion is rather broad, just like Criterion 1. It really encompasses several different parts of the institution. Under this criterion and this core component, we want to think about what external either policies or entities help guide us and maintain our ethical and ethical practices. And one of those would be FERPA. Another would be the ADA. A third would be the NJCAA. All these are entities that require us to maintain certain practices to make us non-biased and to have integrity. Another is the Oklahoma State Regents of Higher Ed. Even though that's Oklahoma, it is at the statewide level. They have various policies. They have an ethics policy. They also, as state employees, cover us under the Ethics Commission, and we are required to follow those ethics listed by the commission. Internally, we also have several policies. Most of those policies are found in the employee handbook if it deals with employees, staff, or faculty. Any kind of student issues are generally found in the college catalog, and it also includes the student handbook. So some of the policies that guide ethical and behavior for employees would be our nepotism policy. We also have various purchasing policies. We have assessment of our courses that helps ensure that we're providing a quality product. The program review process requires faculty to review programs on a 5-year rotation to ensure that those programs are still what we have had advertised them to be. Also, we have an academic integrity policy. That policy is found in the college catalog. It helps determine and helps guide students to know what is appropriate for them to do. That policy also shows up in Moodle at the first of each year. Students are required to read it and accept that policy. We also have what we would call shared governance with our faculty and staff senate. These are opportunities for all faculty and staff to be able to have a voice, to be part of various committees. Representatives from the faculty and staff senate report to our board of regents. They also are on the academic affairs council that used to be called the dean's council. We have those people also on the administrative council. So going on to core component 2B, we have to present ourselves clearly and completely. So if we advertise anything, it has to be transparent to students. So we advertise or report things on our institutional information page off of the home web page. And so in that area, we have several different reports, such as annual safety report, transfer and monitoring report, equity and athletics disclosure act report. So there's lots of reporting that we are required to do, and those can be found primarily on that About WSC page under institutional information. Other things that we have to be open and report transparently to students is the cost. So there's information about tuition and fees, as well as the cost of books and proctoring. The proctoring information now is found in Campus Connect, but it's also found on the searchable schedule that students can see prior to actually even getting in Campus Connect. Core component 2C talks a lot about the governing board. This information is detailed in the PowerPoint, but primarily we want our governing board, our board of regents, to be have integrity and ethical behavior as well. One thing that's important to know as far as the board, if they were asked you, how does our board govern the college? They oversee the college, but they aren't in the practice of delegating day-to-day duties. So that goes to administration. Faculty are able to teach the classes, so we don't want the board members, they shouldn't be dictating specific curriculum and things like that. So that's important to keep in mind. Moving on to 2D, the institution is committed to freedom of expression and the pursuit of truth in teaching. So we want everybody to be able to express themselves openly. That includes employees and students. We do have an academic freedom and inquiry policy that's found in the college catalog. And the Faculty Senate kind of oversees that policy. They send out a survey every 2 years to faculty, staff, and students to see if they feel like they do have freedom of expression. And they had determined that that should be done every 2 years. Another opportunity to express yourself, as I mentioned before, is through the Faculty and Staff Senate, which gives shared governance and allows faculty and staff to have a voice that's a little bit more open and transparent than it has been in the past. The criterion core component 2E talks about the responsible acquisition, discovery, and application of knowledge. So this talks, one portion of this talks about research. We do have the IRB, Institutional Review Board, and IACUC, which is the Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee, that both have oversee that treatment of humans and animals is fair and ethical. And if people want to do research here, they have to go through a process and go to the IRB to get approved prior to doing that. We also have the academic integrity policy that I mentioned before that students are supposed to review. Students are taught about plagiarism. Also, if LRC does any kind of teaching, it talks about plagiarism with those students as well. We have Turnitin that helps reinforce that ethical behavior among students. The institution, we have not only the academic integrity policy, we also do tracking of any kind of academic issues that students may have. If they're cheating and they don't get maybe an F or something in the class, but maybe they get a 0 on assignment, we want that information sent to the Office of Academic Support. We track that. We have a binder there that we kind of track those and see if there's any kind of trends among students. If there's a bigger issue with cheating, then we can address that. I do have a few focus questions over to criterion 2. So this first question is provide an example of how Western acts with integrity in financial matters. And there's several different policies and procedures in place. One would be getting prior approval for purchase orders. If you have a purchase over $2,500, you have to get quotes or bids. So we're not getting paying more for a product from a friend or something instead of choosing a company where we're going to purchase something by the price. So there's several policies in place over financial matters. Another question, where do you find policies and processes at Western if you're unsure of a proper procedure? I would say you look on your website. As I mentioned, the employee handbook is found under Moodle, under campus resources. You can also type it in the search bar, employee handbook. The college catalog has several policies in place, and those are found also on the website. If you go to academics, the college catalog is found there. We have other policy handbooks, the adjunct handbook, the online and curriculum handbook, and those are all can be found in Moodle, as well as there's a Moodle class for resources for faculty. The employee handbook is being updated, so we will be sending an email out when we update that. It was just sent to the Board of Regents. Another question, do you know where to find information about the academic integrity and policies regarding academic misconduct? Those are all found in the college catalog. If you have questions, you can either email or call me. Our next HLC briefing over criterion 3 will be September 6th at noon, and we'll continue to do recaps similar to this so everyone knows about the criterion and what may be asked of them by the reviewers. Thank you.